Today's message is from Mary Magdalene, and it is about her life. She's also asked me to tell you about my pilgrimage to the mountains of St. Baume, where she lived for the last part of her life. But first, the message. Our dear one was my twin soul, and we had been together in other lives. However, in this life, we were together only as divine counterparts. That was our soul agreement for that life. Our relationship was much deeper than any traditional male-female partnership. Our two families were related and very supportive of all. The teaching journey was of the highest priority, and all in our families took part in various guises. My daughter from my youthful marriage was a great joy in my life, and our beloved treated her like a daughter. Your journey on earth also has an important purpose. You are here to give to others with unconditional love. And the opportunities are endlessly put in front of you. You also have the task of removing karmic issues from past incarnations. Again, these become obvious if you allow your emotions to be present in the moment. Nothing is difficult if you live from your heart and from your divine guidance. You make problems with yourself, for yourself, when you entertain fear. When you fail to understand that it is not who you are. Precious ones, you are more powerful than you realize. Every life contains challenges, but nothing that you can not overcome if you trust God. We often had to flee our homes, but always we had loving helpers to keep us safe. Each time we went into seclusion with intense teachings from great beings of light, our souls were divinely fed. After our beloved arose from the tomb, we again had to flee, this time by sea, to France for me, and to England temporarily for the others. After many years hidden from the Saracens in the mountains, I was given protection by the local ruler and began working amongst the poor with the support of the local priesthood at the Basilica of Saint Maximin, which is at the bottom of the mountain of St. Baume. I was well hidden until it was safe to return to society. You too are constantly guarded by many light beings, And if you sit in silence, you will feel them all around you. No one is ever abandoned. Love would never do that. I will always respond to a cry for help. Never doubt that, my precious ones. This journey on earth is your greatest yet, for you will usher in the new earth. So ends that message, and now I'll do what Mary asked of me. When I lived in France, I lived in a Mediterranean, a little town just east of Toulon called Hyères. And one Sunday afternoon, we set off for the mountains of St. Baume to visit the cave in which Mary lived for many, many years. She landed in Marseille, and because she could be tracked there, she had to move far, far away. So by donkey, she rode with her assistants all the way to St. Baume, up the mountain to the cave. A very long journey on the back of a donkey. These days, the cave has doors and windows, and there is a house for the priesthood built next door. But in the time of Mary, there was none of that. Just an opening with a fire built in the entrance, but I can't imagine it gave them any warmth. The cave is huge and has 2 levels. Down below was where they slept. There was a sort of platform area. The whole cave leaked and was damp, and I felt quite dismayed. How did she cope with all of that? Anyway, I have some pictures. When you arrive at the bottom of the mountain, there's a half-hour climb through the most beautiful forest. It's a sacred area. There are no rubbish bins, and there's not one fleck of garbage anywhere. Nobody litters. It's sacred. So you walk up through this amazing forest up to the cave. There's one picture of it. Put it up. And another one. See how beautiful is that? Walking through there was magical. This is the mountain, and you can just see the priest's house that's been built there. Now, there is a picture of the cave, which you see now has doors and windows, and the priest's house over on that side. But when Mary was there, it was just open. This gives you an idea of how vast the cave is. All these religious structures have been built inside by the church. And when we arrived up there, 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, it was to find that the priests were conducting vespers, and 3 of them were chanting in harmony with a congregation below like this. Oh dear, not very good at manipulating this. And the sound was amazing in the cave, absolutely amazing. And then down to the right is a lower level where I think it seemed to be the area that they slept in. All of these statues and things were put in there by the church. It was just an empty cave for Mary. As I said, it leaked all over the place. Yes. Don't know how they survived it. So we enjoyed the service, and I could feel her presence, even though I felt so dismayed. She spent years and years there with her female helpers. That's all. They weren't safe to leave because the Saracens were still looking for her. Then we went down to the Basilica at the bottom. At the bottom of the hill. And we went inside. The door, they don't lock the doors of churches in France, are all open. There was nobody there at all. And we made our way along to the crypt. And I was amazed that the metal door that was clearly locked at times was open, and we could just walk down there. There's 3 beings buried down there, one in the middle and one on the other side. This one is said to be the remains of Mary Magdalene. She was hidden away for a long time, but eventually the church uncovered where she was hidden and put her into this crypt. So, don't know if that's true or not, but I guess it is. They went through such hardship. It's amazing. Anyway, she eventually was safe under the protection of the local ruler to go down and work with the priest amongst the poor. She would go down the mountain every day to do this. And that was her life's work until the end. In fact, as the end approached, she was aware that her life was fading. She went down to be with the priest in the Basilica. There is graveyard down below where all her helpers eventually were buried. They stayed with her throughout. And there's also a convent at the base of the mountain where nuns live, and I think people can stay there. Anyway, it's a magical trip. And if you're ever in France, it's really worth going. Just the forest, walking through that is sheer magic. So, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for taking part in my journey. Much love to you all. Until the next time. Bye.